of mainstream media says Dems don't understand it. Well, let's hear it from his own mouth.
In the Philly suburbs. And I'm telling you, we are way off. The entire political class is way off. First of all, digital is a new door knocking. You got to understand that. We were laughing our butts off at Donald Trump for suspending his door knocking campaign and letting Charlie Kirk and Elon do a bunch of stuff online.
In this video, Tim Pool reacts to Van Jones of CNN. Tim Pool's astonished that Van Jones is just now realizing that no one cares what the mainstream liberal media has to say. With that, let's watch Tim Pool laugh at how clueless and out of touch Van Jones is.
We have this story from the Post-Millennial. Van Jones laments the decline of mainstream media, says Dems don't understand it. Well, let's hear it from his own mouth.
In the Philly suburbs. And I'm telling you, we are way off. The entire political class is way off. First of all, digital is a new door knocking. You got to understand that. We were laughing our butts off at Donald Trump for suspending his door knocking campaign and letting Charlie Kirk and Elon do a bunch of stuff online. We said, these guys are idiots. These guys are stupid. Then you start knocking on these doors. You know what people come to the door with? Their phone in their hand.
He just figured this out.
They're in a 24-hour digital surround sound that has nothing to do with CNN, has nothing to do with any stuff that we do. I asked my son, I got a teenage son, I asked him, who are the most influential people in the world today? I'm thinking to myself, he's going to say Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z. He says, Kai Cent, Aiden Ross, Jinxie, and Sketch. I don't know who he's talking about. I said, what platforms are you on? He goes, I'm on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. I said, that sounds like you need to go to the hospital. What are these platforms? I'm telling you guys, the mainstream has become fringe, and the fringe has become mainstream.
Yep.
There are platforms, there are people out there that are getting 14 million streams, and we're on cable news getting 1 or 2 million.
And that's a lie, because they are not.
Because they're,
So
they're not getting
there's a
that.
whole world out there. Kellyanne Conway, I hate to agree with her, but I do a lot
Why?
of times. Donald Trump understood that, and we didn't. And it's not just Democrats that don't. The entire political class is way off, way off, way off.
And that's the end of the clip. But, you know, he is right. The mainstream has become fringe. Now, I ask all of you watching at home, do you think that after watching this, they're just going to sit by and...
What a revelation by Van Jones. Oh my goodness. The entire political class has gotten it wrong. The entire political class? Or do you mean left-wing mainstream media? I think you mean the latter. Digital is the new door knocking. I didn't know door knocking worked since, I don't know, the 90s, maybe even faded out before that. But one thing he said was really, really surprising, and I'm sure you guys were shocked too. Do you know when they were doing door knocking what people came to the door with in their hand? Their phone. I'd never thought of that. Are you suggesting that people are like attached to their phone? I say it all the time, but how out of touch are these people? Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, I've never in my life watched anything on Twitch, Kick, or Rumble, but I know how large of an audience those platforms have. Van Jones, is this the first time he's ever spoken to his son who told him about these? He has a son that watches those things, and he's never even heard of them. What kind of bubble is he in? Does he just have earmuffs on all the time? So, except when he's at CNN? What human on the planet doesn't know that these platforms exist? Okay, I take that back. Everyone doesn't need to know that they exist. But the fact that he is in the quote-unquote news and doesn't know they exist is effing ridiculous. And let me just reiterate what Tim and some of the folks in the studio said. He thinks CNN is getting 1 to 2 million views. Are you kidding me? I'm not looking at the numbers, but I don't think it's even 1 million. I think it's much less, actually. But you see how he had to throw that in to pretend like they have some relevance? They are so freaking irrelevant. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Go, guess we lose. Or are they going to say, the New York Times, like how much money, how many subscribers the New York Times has, have, do you know?
I don't know.
But they make a lot of money.
Yeah, they do.
Comcast, Disney, MSNBC, they're being spun off. But these big corporations have resources to spare. They absolutely are going to come into the space. They're going to start producing for YouTube. They're going to have marketing.
11 million.
11 million subscribers?
Yeah.
Wow. They're going to, and what is it, like $10 a month or something?
Yeah, something like that. But you know what's interesting? Almost 11 million. No, 11.09 million subscribers. 10.47 million of those are digital only.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these companies, they're going to come to the digital space and they're going to start going to these liberal personalities and say, we're going to give you $10 million a year to license your show, and we're going to put $20 million in marketing. We're going to put up billboards in every city. You will be ubiquitous and you will say what you are told to say. And they're going to go, deal, boss. Whatever you say. And then these authentic podcasters will drown you out. When they put $20 million in marketing and then go to YouTube and say, look, this is the biggest channel. It's got 10 million subs, the biggest news channel. Stop promoting these other ones. Do a home bar that features the existing channels that you know are safe, that advertisers are happy with, and you're never going to have to worry about an adpocalypse again. And YouTube says, you got it, boss. You know, I know they're going to do it because YouTube did it several years ago. They propped up CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News and downranked all the independent podcasts. They will gladly do it again when MSNBC, who pays Rachel Maddow $25 million, MSNBC is going to say, we have carriage fees for now. Where do we go in 3 years with our ratings being zero? Okay, let's take those carriage fees. Tell YouTube we want to be on YouTube TV. Pay us there. We'll give it to you at a premium. You know, we'll let you keep some of the money as long as you feature us and promote us.
YouTube TV just raised their price to $82 per month too, I saw.
Yep.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
Something like that, which I didn't even know. Like, I don't even know what's on YouTube TV.
It's cable. It's everything.
It's everything that's so if you
it's got every channel basically.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't
know. Look, it's like cable TV. So we have YouTube TV. Mm-hmm. So when we put on the news, it's through YouTube TV.
Okay.
And I can pull up any channel I would normally watch. They got everything as far as I can tell. You have to pay extra if you want like HBO and all that stuff.
Extra on top of the $82.
Of course, that's how it's always been.
Insane.
But that's the same as cable. Cable, $70 a month, and if you want HBO, it's $15 a month extra as a premium subscription. So they're doing the exact same thing, but it's digital now. I mean, then you've got Dish Direct. All of the cable companies are turning into subscriber services that bundle all of these channels. The weird thing about it, though, is like, I don't know that we need channels when we have video on demand.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I don't watch a lot of stuff. I'll be like, oh, I want to watch, whatever, something that came out 15 years ago, and I'll go watch that.
Yeah, AI is gonna.
Just a little side personal note. I've been trying to get my parents to switch over to YouTube TV. I look at cable as so irrelevant. Even the little things like having a box. You just don't need anything to use any of these TV streaming services. And even though he said like it went up to $82, cable's losing so much money that their only respite is to continue to raise their prices. They're outrageous. I wonder when it's going to go away completely, but I digress. So I've talked about this before. Tim's right. I think these large news outlets that I don't know how they still have so much resources, but they do. They have a lot of resources. I mean, it would be ridiculous to think they can keep doing what they're doing and keep up with the influence of independent creators. So my prediction is like Tim's. They're going to dump tons of money into YouTube, but the platform matters, but I don't think it matters as much as the fact that I think they are just in denial about how much of the public trust they've lost. And there's only one way to get that back, and it's start telling the truth and acknowledging when you make mistakes. I don't see them doing that anytime soon, if ever. Probably never. So I think more money going into the YouTube space is probably good for everyone. A rising tide raises all ships, isn't that how it goes? But I see it as a good thing because if I'm a Tim Pool or Daily Wire or Charlie Kirk or Benny Johnson, it's probably just going to bring more eyes to them. It's going to bring more eyes to YouTube. People, even if they go there for their stupid Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, they'll eventually get drawn away by people they just like better and trust more. Because I've always said before, your independent creators, whether they're on the right wing or left wing, well, maybe not some on the left wing. I'm kidding. Well, maybe not some on either side, but most of your independent creators are giving you their honest opinion and reporting on stories authentically. And if they get something wrong, people feel like they have more of a connection to the creators they like. So when they get something wrong, it's not like, oh my God, they're an idiot. It's like, okay, they were wrong, but they genuinely believe that, as opposed to what Tim just talked about. The model that these big media outlets use is going to remain the same, where they just give them a script and a narrative and say this. And I'd say a large majority of people now know that's happening. And if they don't change that, then, like I said, it'll just bring more people who never watched YouTube before to YouTube, and then they'll find other creators they like and trust more, and maybe are just more entertaining, or feel like they have a connection with. That's one of the beauties of YouTube or X or Facebook, Instagram. The people that are wildly popular have this connection with their audience, whereas with television, it was always this big barrier. Like the TV personalities were so elite, and we're just, the plebes watching them. So I think these newer viewers to YouTube, when they stumble upon somebody they like, will feel a closer connection with them than they ever knew was possible with regular cable news. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
And media. Like we are so close to it being over. I don't think people really
You mean
understand.
in terms of storytelling?
Yeah. I keep hearing from people, they're like, nah, AI will never capture that great storytelling that humans get. And it's like, no, you are wrong. You are wrong. We are a couple of years away from procedurally generated movies that hit.
Well, sure. I mean, you just give it a formula. Once you know the formula and you can crack that, then you can do any story.
This is how Netflix made House of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
They noticed that they had a really high viewership on political thrillers and Kevin Spacey movies, and said, let's make a political thriller with Kevin Spacey.
Well, and then they also ripped off the British version.
Yeah. They were basically like, we looked at our data and saw what people liked, and we're going to make this.
I agree with Tim on the whole AI thing. I mean, it's just going to get more and more sophisticated, and it's going to sound just like someone else talking to you. Once you invest in the technology, then it'll be dirt cheap to just crank out any type of content, that people want to see. That should certainly be scarier than, the big mainstream news media companies coming into the YouTube space. But we want to hear from you. What do you all think about what Tim has to say about legacy media? What do you think about what Tim had to say about Van Jones, and how shockingly out of touch he is about where people get their media from? Oh, and by the way, he's been in the media for a long time. Good Lord. Let us know. Anyway, as always, we really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.